Young and the Restless next week spoilers. Phyllis Summers gets proof she needs. Young and the Restless spoilers promise excitement as Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, flies to Los Angeles and gets the dirt she needs the week of August 2nd to 6th. She meets with Eric Forrester, John McCook, and Angeline Marchetti, Christina Serafini, and learns all about Sally Spectra's, Courtney Hope, plot on the CBS soap opera. Also, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, tells his father he worries Tara Locke, Elizabeth Liner, will take off with his son if he pushes her too hard. Young and the Restless weekly spoilers August 2nd to 6th. Phyllis Summers gets dirt on the duo. Phyllis Summers jets to L.A. to meet Summer Newmans, Hunter King, new boss, Angelina Marchetti, Christina Serafini, is in L.A. meeting with Eric Forrester in a Bold and the Beautiful crossover. So, Phyllis knows that's the way to get the info she needs. Summers' mom Phyllis is happy to hear that her daughter is doing a great job in her new position, on Young and the Restless next week. However, Phyllis Summers is shocked to learn Eric was instrumental in getting the job for Summer, thanks to Sally. The LA designer tells Phyllis that he encouraged Angelina to hire Summer. As she probes, Phyllis learns Sally pressed Eric. However, he thought he was doing Phyllis's kid a favor, and is stunned to learn he was embroiled in a scheme on Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless spoilers know Eric was used by Sally, and now Phyllis does too. He unwittingly helped push Phyllis Summers' daughter out of town. Now, he's unhappy to learn from Phyllis that he was part of a dirty trick. Before she leaves, Phyllis snaps a photo of her with Eric and Angelina. Then, Phyllis sends the snap to Sally to let her know it's game over. Once Phyllis gets back to GC, Young and the Restless spoilers say she fills in Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, on what Sally did. Then, Nick and Phyllis work together to get revenge. Sally faces serious consequences at the hands of vengeful Phyllis Summers in the coming week. Is there any way she can save herself with Phyllis on the warpath with evidence on YNR? Kyle Abbott worries Tara will take Harrison on YNR. Suspicion is growing about Tara Locke too. Kyle Abbott is beginning to think she can't be trusted either, in next week's spoilers for Young and the Restless. Tara's interactions with Sally raise red flags for the Jabot CEO. He also overheard a very strange telephone call between the women. And he is not happy with the answers he is getting from the pretty blonde. However, he shares with Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, that he worries about pushing Tara for the truth. He fears she will leave town if he demands to know more. Tara vaguely commented that she felt Phyllis was trying to run her out of Genoa City. So his fears are not unreasonable. For now, Kyle is forced to take what Tara tells him at face value. Especially if he doesn't want to lose his son. However, Young and the Restless rumors hint that it is possible that the boy isn't really his child. Tara could use her son to wiggle her way into the Abbott family. Once known, it could be the reason he leaves town for good since the actor departs the role soon. Young and the Restless spoilers. Lauren Fenmore makes power play next week. YNR spoilers hint Lauren Fenmore, Tracy E. Bregman, is furious when she learns of Sally's devious ways. She is happy with her performance as interim president of JVC. However, when Phyllis Summers fills her pal in, she'll take swift action to rid herself of the schemer. Yukon the redhead plotter might be jobless soon. No doubt, Lauren kicks Sally out the door on Young and the Restless. Spoilers see her next stop will be the unemployment line for sure. Lauren gave her several chances to prove she isn't petty. But Sally has shown her true colors. The Fenmore's owner will have no choice but to give her the boot. She can no longer trust Sally. Things aren't looking good for Sally on several fronts. She has lost her job and her romance with Jack. So she doesn't have much more to lose. Her next step could be dangerous. Hint Young and the Restless spoilers. Sally blames Phyllis for her problems and threatened her last week. Shocking news. The Young and the Restless next week spoilers. Phyllis Summers gets the proof she needs. Genoa City is about to be rocked to its very foundations as the long-simmering tensions and calculated schemes explode into a week of unprecedented drama. Fans of The Young and the Restless have been on the edge of their seats, watching Phyllis Summers's, Michelle Stafford, slow burn of indignation turn into a raging fire, and next week, the smoke clears for a moment of shocking clarity. Phyllis finally secures the damning evidence she's been desperately seeking, setting the stage for a massive confrontation that will change the course of multiple lives, and possibly destroy a happy ending before it even begins. This is not a drill. The week of October 20th to October 24th, 2025, is shaping up to be the most explosive of the season, a masterclass in soap opera chaos where Red will truly earn her nickname. From an epic party crash to a dangerous alliance and a chilling discovery, here is the deep dive into the shocking spoilers you need to know. The bridal party meltdown, a crash course in chaos. The week begins with the highly anticipated bachelor and bachelorette parties for Genoa City's golden couple, Christine "Cricket" Blair, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian. A joyous occasion, right? Not on Phyllis's watch. The deeply personal, decades-long rivalry between Phyllis and Christine is about to reach its absolute breaking point. Still smarting from her humiliating dismissal from Abbott.com and the perceived threats to her son Daniel, Michael Graziade, Phyllis sees the celebration of her rival's happiness as a personal attack. Sources confirm that in a moment of utter unhinged fury, Phyllis Summers crashes Christine's bachelorette party at the GCAC, completely derailing the festivities. In a scene that promises to be instantly iconic, Phyllis unleashes her years of pent-up rage, launching a verbal, and perhaps even physical, assault on Christine. Eyewitnesses, including a stunned Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, and a bewildered Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, are caught in the crossfire. Phyllis reportedly mocks the entire scene with bitter sarcasm. "So sweet. Not a dry eye in the house." The subsequent confrontation sees Phyllis's emotional turmoil on full display, later confessing to Danny that she might, in fact, be crazy, a heartbreaking moment of honesty that underscores her current instability. But the true shock comes with the aftermath. Following Phyllis's dramatic exit, the entire GCAC is plunged into a sudden power outage. While most witnesses, including Christine, are quick to blame the dramatic redhead, this event serves as the perfect cover for a much more calculated move, the procurement of the proof she needs. The Kane-Ashby connection. A risky bet pays off. While the immediate focus is on the Cricket-Phyllis feud, the real game is being played in the shadows, centered on Kane-Ashby, Billy Flynn. For weeks, Phyllis has been working with Kane, or at least operating in his orbit, hoping to use his power and resources to gain leverage. Spoilers for the week indicate that Phyllis will place a risky bet, and then successfully catch Kane off guard. It is in this unexpected exchange that Phyllis makes her most pivotal discovery. The current chaos in Genoa City is tied up with Kane, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, the mysterious AI software, and the death of Damian Kane. Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, has long suspected Kane of manipulating evidence related to Damian's murder, and Phyllis, needing a powerful ally and a distraction for her own schemes, has been walking a tightrope with the mogul. The proof Phyllis gets is rumored to be directly related to Kane's manipulation of digital security footage or his secret dealings involving the AI software. By catching him off guard, perhaps during the power outage she may or may not have orchestrated, Phyllis gains access to a key piece of information. This discovery could be the smoking gun proving Kane tampered with the Damian Kane murder investigation, which would not only expose Kane but also give Phyllis the leverage she needs to secure a massive financial payout or a powerful position, funding her next revenge plot. Alternatively, the proof is a direct strike against her primary target, Sharon Newman, Sharon case. The Sharon threat, the end of an unholy alliance? Phyllis's long-standing obsession has been proving that Sharon is somehow responsible for the disappearance and framing of Daniel in the Heather Stevens case. It's an issue that has driven Phyllis's actions for months. With the entire town focused on the chaos at the GCAC and the power outage, Phyllis may use her momentary, self-generated distraction to access a crucial piece of digital evidence tied to Sharon. Whether it is a secret communication, a ledger, or a forgotten log file, the spoilers hint at a moment where Phyllis's relentless pursuit of justice for Daniel finally uncovers a smoking gun. The proof could be the digital fingerprint that connects Sharon, or a third party acting on Sharon's behalf, to the tampering of evidence that has placed Daniel in legal jeopardy. If this is the case, the shocking news is not just that Phyllis has proof, but that she holds the power to finally, decisively destroy Sharon Newman's reputation and possibly send her to prison. Consequences. The dominoes begin to fall. Regardless of which scheme yields the proof, the repercussions will be immediate and catastrophic. Phyllis and Kane reach an understanding. The discovery of Kane's secret means the two reach a tense truce. Phyllis will use the proof to negotiate a partnership or a significant favor from Kane, ensuring her safety and financial backing for her next move. The understanding is a threat. You keep me safe, and I keep your secret. A new low for Red. Phyllis's behavior at the bachelorette party solidifies her reputation as Genoa City's most unhinged resident. She crosses a line that even her exes, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Jack Abbott, will find hard to forgive, pushing her further into isolation, but also making her more dangerous. The Tessa and Daniel kiss. In a separate, yet equally shocking twist this week, Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, reeling from her marital issues with Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, shares a passionate, impulsive kiss with Daniel Romalotti. This act of infidelity, occurring amidst Daniel's legal troubles, further complicates his already precarious life. This is one more piece of collateral damage in the wake of the ongoing chaos that Phyllis's quest for proof has created. This week is a powder keg. Phyllis Summers, scorned and desperate, is tired of playing the victim. She has secured the key, the one piece of proof that validates her long-held suspicions and gives her the leverage to change the game. The only question now is, whom will she target first, and who will be left standing when Red finally detonates the shocking evidence she now holds? Tune in next week. It's going to be a wild spoilers. Will Victoria lose it all after Quickie wedding? Young and the Restless spoilers hint Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, could win big or lose everything depending on her next big decision that her parents might think is hasty. With Ashland Locke, Richard Burgi, seemingly running out of time, it looks like they're going to get hitched. But, is this all part some con he's running for revenge? Or is true love sweeping them away on the CBS soap? Young and the Restless spoilers. Victoria Newman shares big news. Victoria Newman heads to New York City soon with Ashland to meet with a cancer specialist. It looks like Victoria convinced him to seek treatment for his illness. Currently, Ash told Victoria he only has 6 months to live. But no one, not viewers, nor Victoria has seen Ash with a doctor. And the big question is whether Victoria will visit the cancer doc with Ashland on upcoming Young and the Restless episodes. Other YNR spoilers promise that Victoria Newman has big news to share with her parents. She tells Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, something important when she returns from her trip next week. It could be a health update for Ashland. But Young and the Restless spoilers predict something even more personal. In the latest YNR promo for the week ahead, Victoria makes plans with Ashland for their honeymoon. So, it sounds like a wedding is in the works. And Victoria Newman may drop a matrimonial bomb on her folks. Ashland and Vicky wed soon, YNR spoilers hint. The couple plans to marry ASAP. Victoria Newman had a whirlwind and heady romance with the Silver Fox. Normally, Victoria would take her time and think things through. The businessman's illness has put their relationship on hyperspeed. From living together to shared, I love yous, it seems nothing can stop this union. Even his ex-Tara Locke, Elizabeth Liner, may not be an obstacle. The Young and the Restless writers may say they had a Quickie divorce since they had a prenup and the only one getting assets from him is Harrison Locke, Kellen Enriquez. Even with her trying for full custody, that shouldn't slow him marrying Victoria Newman. Young and the Restless spoilers point to a fast timeline for the businessman putting a ring on Victoria's finger. But does that mean she won't take the normal precautions she would? And the question is, will they wed off-screen, or will fans get to see the nuptials? The soaps lifted most COVID restrictions. So, will Victoria Newman have a small ceremony or a big soapy event? Is Ash scamming Victoria on Young and the Restless? Things could happen so fast that no one thinks of a prenuptial agreement. Or Victoria Newman doesn't worry about it because they're both wealthy, and her new husband might die anyway. But some Young and the Restless chatter hints there may be a plot afoot with Victoria as its target. Was the ruthless businessman faking his illness all this time? By not having a prenup, he could easily scam his new wife. Young and the Restless spoilers remind that Ashland Locke has a fierce reputation and doesn't like to lose. Victoria's dad played him dirty, forcing him to sign a contract while he was having a heart attack. So, Ash might be using Victoria Newman, the merger, and a lie about a terminal illness to do them all dirty on the CBS Sudzer. Victoria's history on Young and the Restless proves she is not the best judge of men. She spent months pining for her ex-husband, and her last boyfriend was physically abusive. A fast-tracked I do would leave Victoria open both personally and professionally. Ashland already has full access to Newman Enterprises now that the company merged with Locke Communications. But after the wedding, he can also stake a claim to Victoria Newman's private fortune as well. Young and the Restless updates hope for Astoria fans that this isn't the case. But we've not seen the Loch Ness Monster side everyone talked about. Instead he's been Prince Charming. So, keep watching to see if Victoria Newman gets her happily ever after or a horrible reality check after she says, "I do." Soap Dirt is the place to find the best Young and the Restless spoilers anywhere on the web. Young and the Restless spoilers. Will Victoria lose it all after Quickie wedding? The Newman heiress's sudden plunge into matrimony threatens to collapse her empire and her family. Genoa City is reeling from a development that has sent a shockwave through the hallowed halls of Newman Enterprises and the notoriously dramatic lives of its first family. Victoria Newman, the formidable CEO and heiress, has done it again. In a move that is vintage Victoria, impulsive, defiant, and loaded with future complications, she has reportedly entered into a quickie, clandestine marriage. The news is spreading like wildfire, and the question on every fan's lips isn't who she married, though the identity is a scandal in itself, but will Victoria Newman lose everything she has worked for in the tumultuous aftermath of this ill-conceived union? The blindsiding bombshell, a secret vow made in haste. For Victoria, life has always been a balancing act of power and passion. She craves control in the boardroom yet consistently gives it away in her personal life, especially when a compelling, often dangerous, man enters the picture. The latest man to sweep her off her feet, and away from her better judgment, is rumored to be none other than Cole Howard, or perhaps an even more surprising dark horse. Regardless of the groom, the speed of the ceremony suggests a desire to escape scrutiny, perhaps a bid to preemptive strike against the inevitable disapproval of her father, Victor Newman. Victoria's history is littered with disastrous marriages, from the murder-hiding terror of J.T. Hellstrom to the cancer-faking deception of Ashland Locke. Each time, she has narrowly avoided complete personal and professional ruin. This time, however, the stakes are exponentially higher, and the fallout promises to be immediate, brutal, and potentially total. The looming threat to Newman Enterprises, a CEO's reckless choice. Victoria's position as the CEO of Newman Enterprises is a title she earned through decades of struggle, manipulation, and proving herself, often directly to her ruthlessly critical father. Her personal life, however, has always been the Achilles heel that Victor and her enemies exploit. A quickie wedding, to a man with a questionable past or motives, provides Victor with all the ammunition he needs. Spoiler alert, the boardroom battle is already brewing. Whispers from the Genoa City elite suggest Victor is already on the warpath. His initial shock has turned to cold, calculating fury. The idea of anyone challenging Victoria's stability and thus, the stability of his beloved company, is an unforgivable offense. But Victor's reaction may be less about protection and more about control. The prenup problem. Was there a prenuptial agreement? Given the haste of the wedding, it's highly likely that proper legal protections for Newman Enterprises' assets were either rushed or completely overlooked. This vulnerability is the single biggest threat to her power. If the marriage ends quickly, and in Victoria's world, they always do, her new spouse could walk away with a devastating chunk of the Newman fortune. The sibling rivalry resurgence. Victoria's brother, Adam Newman, is watching this development with predatory interest. Adam's entire existence is defined by his desire to run Newman Enterprises, and Victoria's latest scandal is a golden opportunity. Expect him to be whispering in Victor's ear, painting his sister as unstable and unfit to lead. The quickie wedding is the key Adam needs to unlock the CEO chair. A vote of no confidence. If the board is convinced that Victoria's personal life is a liability, especially given the catastrophic outcome of the Ashland Locke merger, which nearly destroyed the company, a vote of no confidence could be imminent. Her rash marriage could be the final straw that costs Victoria the job she cherishes most. The personal cost, estrangement and isolation. Beyond the corporate drama, Victoria's hasty decision is set to rip through the delicate fabric of her family relationships. Nick's disappointment. Her brother, Nick Newman, has always been Victoria's most loyal and protective ally. He has stood by her through JT, the cover-up, and Ashland. But Nick has also become the voice of reason. A sudden, secretive wedding suggests Victoria has actively shut him out, fearing his judgment. This betrayal of trust could push Nick away at the moment she needs his support the most, leaving her isolated against the combined forces of Victor and Adam. The children's scars. Victoria's children, Johnny and Katie, have already been through so much parental drama. Johnny, in particular, has a complex relationship with Victoria. Another rash, doomed marriage will only further destabilize their lives and add another layer of trauma. This could lead to a battle for custody or, worse, her children choosing to distance themselves from their mother's tumultuous lifestyle. The emotional cost to Victoria's relationship with her kids might be the most devastating loss of all. The return of old ghosts, a quick wedding is a perfect setup for the resurfacing of old flames. Will Billy Abbott, her most persistent ex, step up to save her, or will he simply use her recklessness for his own journalistic gain at Chancellor Winters? Given his history of self-righteous interference, Billy is a wild card that could make the fallout a public spectacle. The question that haunts Genoa City: is Victoria Newman truly unstoppable? Victoria has always operated with an almost superhuman confidence, believing she is untouchable because she is Victor Newman's daughter. She has survived prison scares, corporate espionage, and a string of husbands who have tried to destroy her. But even the great Newman heiress has a limit. This quickie wedding is not a sign of triumphant love, it's a symptom of a deeper, destructive pattern. It's a sign that Victoria has yet to learn the difference between having power and having wisdom. Her hasty decision may be the catalyst that finally forces her to confront her own self-sabotaging behavior. Our final shocking prediction: the marriage will not last. It will unravel with the speed of a falling guillotine. But the true drama will be what Victoria loses in the process. We predict the combination of a disastrous prenup situation and Adam's shrewd maneuvering will lead to Victor siding against his own daughter, orchestrating a temporary, yet humiliating, removal of Victoria from the Newman Enterprises CEO chair. Victoria will lose the empire she bled for, the control she craves, and possibly the support of the one brother who always stood by her. She will have to rebuild, yet again, from the ashes of her own reckless choice. It's a classic Young and the Restless cycle of destruction and redemption, but this time, the price of the quickie wedding will be everything. Buckle up, Genoa City. The fall of Victoria Newman is about to begin.